The coronavirus pandemic took its toll on everyone, people, businesses, sports leagues, and Major League Baseball was no different. They played a 60-game season last year with a myriad of rule changes. So today, I'm going to talk about those rule changes and we're going to decide, should they stay or should they go? Guys, I'm Tony Metro. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, be sure to subscribe and turn channel notifications on. And let me know in the comment section below, which of these rule changes do you like and want to keep? And which of them do you just hate and have to go? So let's start off with probably the most controversial of any of the rule changes, and that's the ghost runner on second base in extra innings. In order to limit the exposure of COVID, Major League Baseball decided they needed to shorten the games, and extra innings were the main culprit. They didn't want to see 13, 14, 15 inning marathons anymore, so they decided to put a runner on second base to start extra innings. With this rule, most games are finishing in the 10th inning, but the same was true in 2019 without the rule. In 2019, there were 208 extra inning games, 95 of which finished in the 10th inning. In fact, in those 208 games, 73% of them finished in the 11th inning or earlier. So forgetting that the ghost runner completely changes the context of the game and, in my opinion, gives a huge advantage to the road team, it had a minimal effect on the time of games. I can't believe it, but Major League Baseball has actually sunk to Little League rules to try to speed up the game. Now, I will say, and this idea has been tossed around, that they could modify it so that the extra inning runner on second base comes in the 11th or maybe the 12th inning. Give the teams one or maybe even two regular extra innings to try to scratch a run across the board before you put a ghost runner on second. The next most drastic rule change is the 7-inning doubleheader. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I gotta say, I really like it. I mean, it feels like the exact same game. It's just a little bit shorter, so why not? How many games during a season do you just have a lull for multiple innings where no action is happening? Are we really missing anything by just cutting off those 2 innings when you have another game to play that night? Now, I know in a vacuum, this is probably not the best way to evaluate this rule because anything could change in those 2 extra innings, but honestly, I think it's a fair and normal representation of the game we all know. It saves each team's bullpen and makes watching a game for the casual fan much easier. The true fanatic may not like the 7-inning doubleheader, but as a diehard baseball fan, I hope they keep it. What do you guys think? Should Major League Baseball keep 7-inning doubleheaders? And what do you think about the ghost runner on second rule? And by the way, Rob Manfred recently came out and said that he doesn't anticipate that either of these rules will be returning in 2022. So don't get too upset. The next rule, and I think 98% of baseball fans want this one, the universal DH. I will admit, I was pro National League Baseball for the longest time and even up until this season. But I have completely made a 180 and I am all aboard the universal DH train now. I used to think pitchers hitting was fun and that using a pinch hitter and forcing the other team's strategy to pull their starting pitcher early was always really interesting and a fun part of baseball. But I have got to say, these pitchers show no interest in trying to learn to bunt, to hit, to do anything productive at the plate anymore. The rare home run from a pitcher just isn't worth the lull that a pitcher taking an at-bat provides during each and every game, and I am all for the universal DH in Major League Baseball next year. And the last rule we're going to discuss today, the 3-batter minimum rule. This rule sucks. I hate this rule. I hate this rule almost as much as I hate the extra inning runner on second rule. This rule, however, wasn't implemented because of COVID. It was to speed up the pace of play in the game, which it hasn't. I admit, using a pitcher for 1 batter, the manager walking out to the bullpen to summon another pitcher, and then again, 3 pitchers in 1 inning, that's horribly boring and slow and not going to grow viewership for baseball. Earlier in the 2021 season, there was one specific incident where there were major repercussions because of the 3-batter minimum rule. On April 28th, Cardinals pitcher Genesis Cabrera hit Philly star Bryce Harper in the face with a fastball. Harper left the game immediately and Cabrera was clearly distraught, but because of the 3-batter minimum rule, Cabrera had to remain in the game for at least 2 more batters. The next Phillies batter, Didi Gregorius, steps into the box. Cabrera still shaken up, no control of his fastball, and what does he do? hits him with a pitch right in the ribs. Now the Phillies are mad. Cabrera didn't seem to do it intentionally, but Cardinals manager Mike Shildt can't do anything but watch because he has to pitch to one more batter. And the next batter, Andrew McCutchen, would get an RBI single, mercifully ending Cabrera's night. Mike Shildt said after the game that this was a failure of the 3-batter minimum rule and that he would have immediately pulled Cabrera after he hit Bryce Harper in the face. Look, this type of incident is rare, but it doesn't take away from how silly of a rule the 3-batter minimum is. It doesn't appear to have picked up the pace of play, and it's pretty much eliminated a few specific roles for relief pitchers in the bullpen. So going into the next CBA, I am hoping that they get rid of this ridiculous rule, or at least replace it with something different like letting a fan come in and pitch. And those are the 4 rules that Major League Baseball must change heading into the 2022 season. What do you guys think? Which of these rules need to go and which of them should stay? And what other rule changes would you propose going into the new CBA negotiations? Guys, stay tuned. More videos are coming out next week. Appreciate you watching, and be sure to subscribe and turn channel notifications on. I am Tony Metra.